All right, we go back.
Welcome to the Big Fat Dubs Sports Talk.
Guys, we are back now with week 15 here. Things are very, very interesting here in the NFL world right now. We got teams that are falling short. We got teams that are looking like they're going to make it. We got injuries happening. We got all kinds of weird shit going on because we are getting close to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. We talking playoffs soon, baby.
Playoffs?
We talking about the playoff implications. And yeah, like Kelly said, I'm just gonna pull up something for a little bit later today, a little bit tonight on the show. But we are gonna go over our week 15, talk about the week 16, everything like that. We're gonna look at the playoff standings as it is right now, as we are roughly 3 weeks away from the playoffs. We've seen this week alone multiple teams enter and clinch the playoff berths, and there are some interesting storylines brewing right now. So, with that being said, let's get started with the Thursday Night Football game. Our very own Seattle Seahawks taking on the now NFC West champions, the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to say this about this game. Though the score is 21-13, it was obviously a one-score game. This game was a lot more one-sided than the score actually showed.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco definitely dominated on both sides of the ball throughout the game. Seattle tried to come back in the second half, but unfortunately just ran out of time.
And it just goes to show, this was the big talk of Brock Purdy and how is he going to be, and it is still fairly early. I mean, this is only his third game, his second start overall. But the team itself, when healthy, is probably the best team, and they really showed it with McCaffrey having a great game. Kittle had 2 touchdowns, really just tearing apart that coverage and getting open for plays. They did not have Deebo Samuel probably out for the rest of the regular season going into the playoffs.
Yep. I mean, it's a smart move on their part, keeping him, healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got an injury alone, so he's already struggling there. Then you have Brandon Ayuk, you have Kyle Juszczyk, you have so many weapons, and then their defense is just phenomenal. Their defense is extraordinary. Yeah. And I think that this is ultimately, and again, we'll talk about this when we go to the playoffs and everything like that, but I'd say watch out for the Niners. Hawks really needed to win this game. They really need to keep it up. They are 1 game out of the final playoff spot, with a team kind of on the rise, and we'll talk about them when we get to their game. Kelly, you got anything else on this game?
No, just I'm honestly thinking, the Niners are going to be looking very good here going down the stretch. Seahawks, got to pull something out. I know you're going to have a tough matchup here next week, which I'm really not going to be thinking you're going to get through that one. So I love you guys, but I mean, in the point overall, we were not supposed to be at this point anyway. So
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that as we get everything.
But anyway, yeah.
Going to the next game, we have some really good games, and we're going to start off with probably one of the games of the week. This was
history making,
and it was also kind of a start of what was the weekend to come. The Colts blowing a 33-point lead at halftime to lose 39-36 to the Vikings, which was the biggest comeback victory in Minnesota Vikings history. And unfortunately for Matt Ryan, it's another one where you were leading at halftime by over 20 points and you blew it.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say on this except for I really don't know what to say on this.
I mean, honestly, Matt Ryan, since that Super Bowl against the Patriots, has been cursed with holding a big lead going into halftime. So
I don't blame him. I blame the coaching on both games. They're still throwing. Run the damn ball. You're up by 33 points.
Yeah.
Why are you throwing
the ball? You should be running it.
Why are you throwing?
Roll down that clock.
Run down the clock. Run the ball. Who cares?
Yeah. There should have been no point. There should have been no throwing whatsoever unless Vikings started getting close back.
Yeah. But what a great game by Kirk Cousins, throwing for 460 yards, 4 touchdowns. KJ Osborne. Oh God, who was it? Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, 3 members of having touchdowns. Dalvin Cook.
Hodgson too had a good game. I think.
Yep, Hawkinson had a great game. No touchdowns for Hawkinson. I think they threw to the other tight end or something like that. Anyways, what a great comeback victory for the Vikings. Now, do you credit this more of the Colts just blew it, or do you credit the Vikings are just that good?
I think the Colts just blew it. Honestly, I'm sorry. When you run up the score of 30-0 by halftime, that tells you something right there that you have this team, that you are the dominant side.
Yep.
And then, yeah, all of a sudden you just started to literally just play safe, I guess, but not really play safe. But
I mean, it's this is the second game this year where the Vikings were down by multiple scores in the halftime, going into the fourth quarter and winning. The other one being against the Buffalo Bills, which that ended up being a really good game. But again, Buffalo made a lot of mistakes, and the Colts did the same thing, and the Vikings just capitalized. There's still a lot to be said that you gave up 33 points in the first half alone. And then you turned around and only held them to 3 points the rest of the game. So a lot of fixing there and everything like that to be done for the Vikings. Though they're 11-3, they also clinched the playoffs as well as the NFC South or North Division. Did they clinch it yet? Or
yes.
Okay. I was saying they should have clinched it.
I believe they have clinched it now.
Yeah.
But
so
also, and I don't blame the Colts also too, or the Vikings, because it was a short week for them, a day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that has any indication, because I know some people, it was a short week for them. It's one day. A short week is the Thursday night game. I'm sorry. But anyway, great comeback by the Vikings. Good on you guys. You deserve, that title of that division.
Yep. I'm also going to say this too, and this is my pet peeve. These random ass stats that pop up are the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
No, I will bring it up. The stat that came up Saturday morning saying that Jeff Saturday is the first coach with the last name Saturday to coach on a Saturday is probably one of the dumbest stats I've ever heard, compared to everyone telling me that the Kraken broke a franchise record for something. The Kraken are in their second fucking year. Of course they're going to break franchise records.
Yeah, right.
They only had 1 year to do it, and they sucked.
I know. And then we talk about the day with the Portland Trailblazers game where Lillard broke the all-time scoring franchise.
That was going to be my thing I was going to say after. I was going to do a big sports thing at the end.
And then, but see, that actually makes sense.
That makes sense. You tell me that, I'm happy. You tell me the Kraken scored 4 goals, first time in franchise history. Guess what? Don't care. They didn't do it last year. They just doing it this year. Who cares? Exactly. 10 years down the road, you can tell me later.
Right.
Anyways, getting back to the NFL, we're going to go to the next game. Not really a shocker in my opinion, because of the fact that we kind of thought this was going to happen based on the fact that Hudley and Lamar Jackson were hurt. The Browns beating the Ravens 13-3 in a big game where the Ravens needed this win to keep up ahead of the red-hot Cincinnati Bengals.
Exactly. Ravens, that's their only issue right now, is just getting a quarterback. They don't have a healthy starting quarterback right now. Didn't the third string guy just get hurt too?
Yeah.
So now they're on their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah, this is the worst time for these injuries for these quarterbacks
Exactly.
for the Ravens.
I mean, you're 9-5. You're pretty much top wild card spot right now.
Yep.
And yeah, you're literally fiddling away. We'll see the standings here later. But man, the Ravens are looking like now that they might get bumped out.
With
a winning record.
They might get knocked out of the playoffs. It's unfortunate, but that might be the case.
We've seen it happen before.
Yep. We'll see what happens from there. We're going to go to the final game, which was a very, very good game, which we expected. The Bills beating the Dolphins in a very snowy battle.
Not until the fourth quarter. Let's be real. Not until the second half, though, until it snowed.
It was snowing at the beginning of the game.
I know, but...
Yeah, there were snowballs.
I know, but the field was clear and all that stuff. There was nothing there, but then the snowfall caught it, then the field started...
Yeah, because they spent hours heating up the field and, melting the snow. Anyways, 32-29 over the Dolphins in a very good game. I believe the Yep, they clinched the berth. I think they also clinched the division. If I'm not mistaken, they should have clinched the division. Nobody else around him. Josh Allen had a wonderful game, leading him down to the game winning score and everything like that. Can't count out the Dolphins though. They put up a great fight.
Both Waddle and Hill had both great games
Yep.
in there. They actually burned that Bills defense pretty good that time.
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins proved that they are a very dangerous team going into the playoffs. I think that they are going to still make it, and I think that again people are starting to figure out their team, which was you got to contain Tua in the pocket, but you got to just contain what's their name Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Right.
So, all right, we're gonna go to Sunday night games.
Sunday.
We're going to start off with a big one that has some implications for the future. We have Eagles and the Bears, kind of what we thought the Eagles were going to win. However, both Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields got out with injuries both those games. Hurts actually questionable for this week's game.
Yeah, with the shoulder
injury. With the shoulder injury, which is big because they're playing the Cowboys.
And this is something I've been saying all year long. Jalen Hurts is eventually going to get hurt. And it's going to come out at a bad time. And it's going to come out at a worst time for him right now.
You had to throw that pun in there.
Yes, I did. Because I've been saying it.
Yeah, what the Eagles coming out on top 25-20. I'm not really surprised there. I don't think Kelly is surprised. If you guys are surprised,
I think it should have been a bigger, higher scoring game by the Eagles, but Bears stayed in there. I mean, they were a touchdown away.
But I mean, this was a game that anyone could have, it could have been close and stuff like that. But in any implication, the Bears were going to lose to the Eagles regardless. So great job to the Eagles maintaining that 13-1 lead, 13-1 record, and everything like that. Going to the next game, we're going to go I almost said the St. Louis Saints. I don't know why. We're going to go the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons, and continuing implications out of an NFC South title, which is still up for grabs for anyone. Saints coming on top, 21-18. I actually didn't even know about this game. I didn't.
They did not advertise this game very much at all.
Yeah, this was not on any highlight reel. This was not on anything.
I mean, they still showed pretty much Brady's team more than this team because that had just been our implication.
Yeah, I mean, any implication, good game.
It's funny because, like you said, yeah, these two teams still have a chance, but it's like, let's not show them, hardly at all. Especially, I'm just going off Red Zone because when I put on Red Zone during the day, so I watch it while I'm watching the main game, and yeah, I did not see much of this team being advertised.
Well, then again, it's 5-9. There's really nothing to watch, and
that's what I think they think. They're not having. It's not big playoff. Implications.
Yeah. So based on the fact that it was not really advertised or broadcast anything like that, I'm just gonna say, good job.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
I guess we'll wait to hear what happens here with the struggling Bucks.
But one thing I want to point out there is, I just saying this too, is look at the Falcons away schedule. They're 1-6. Nope, Falcons down. There you go. That's hurting them. You're thinking about they are 4-3 at home, but they're 1-6 on the road. Not a good sign that they are probably just going to continue to fall off.
Right.
So going into the next game, the surprise Cinderella team pushing for that playoff spot, the Detroit Lions, which has been on tear ever since starting. I think they started 1-6.
I think so.
Coming back to beat the fuck shit Jets. I'm sorry. Yes, they're having a great year compared to what they had last year. They still suck. And I must have a thing against any quarterback the last name Wilson. Because Zach Wilson, because you earned this title this week, Zach. Because Russell was out. I'll still say it later on. But Zach Wilson, fuck you.
Yeah, definitely two teams that have been surprising this year after having terrible seasons, going at it. Now both 7-7. You said you're actually seeing the Lions getting into the playoffs, but not the Jets.
Yes, because of the fact of the Lions are fighting. The Lions continue to fight, and this is where I say the difference is the Jets started hot, and now they're cooling off. The Lions started bad and now are on fire. So even if the Lions don't make it, they have a better chance than the Jets, in my opinion. I don't think the Jets have any. They may get one win, and it might be the game I'm actually going to go see in Seattle. But I don't think based on what we've seen the last few weeks and these last month, the Lions have been on a tear. They have been fired up, playing very hard. I mean, they gave a good run to the Bills on Thanksgiving Day. They're not a team to sleep on. Goff's playing really well. They're figuring it out. They're figuring out their game style. And the Jets, I don't think there's a lot of distrust. I mean, they don't trust Zach Wilson. They're unfortunately having to go with him because of I almost said Falco, like Shane Falco. With Flacco's injury and Mike White's injury now, they're having to roll with Zach Wilson, but there's no trust in there because he doesn't want to put in the work. And he's not a good quarterback. He's a bust. He's a bona fide bust.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see White next year being the number one quarterback.
I think it's the right move.
And they start to shop, and Zach Wilson gets shopped to another team.
I don't know if a lot of teams will take him. That's the thing.
That's the thing, because you're looking at like Houston right now. That's probably going to end up taking like Bryce Young in the first round. So there's going to be
it's either him or C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, or C.J. Stroud. Already those teams that are looking at. So I don't know. I think the Jets have a future quarterback. I think between either Wilson or White, but I think White's got the edge.
Yeah, if I had to pick right now, I'd pick White over Wilson. Yeah. There's more to gain with White than there is Wilson.
So anyway, next game.
Going to another game that was not really broadcasted and advertised very well. The Steelers versus the Panthers, with both teams slightly still in runs. Obviously, we talked about the NFC South. Pretty much is anyone's game.
Right.
There are 3 teams at 5-9, and the Buccaneers are 6-8. Literally, it's going to come down to the last game of the year.
Yeah.
And the Steelers getting a good win. First loss for Sam Darnold since taking back over the team. And kind of what I've said to you before, the minute TJ Watt comes back, it's a whole different Steelers team.
Since he's come back, they've been actually winning games, and they're still trying to figure out who their number one quarterback the Steelers are as they've been rolling.
I think it's going to be Kenny. I think it's going to be Kenny Pickett next year. I just think that this is just too much of a up and down. It's hard to really focus solely on a quarterback right away with the short amount of period of time, everything like that.
That's the thing. You just ran out of time. If you had maybe a few more games, 5 more games left, maybe instead of the 3. But right now, you're at that point of the season where it's like, we're just got to roll with what we got, and we're just going to try to figure out who, what we're going to do for next year.
Yep.
But I mean, and I know I've talked about this. Mike Tomlin's, record of being at least 500 or better each season is now looking like that. If they win at least a couple more games here,
they have a chance.
They have a chance. Record for them.
They lose one more, it's done.
Oh yeah.
Because if they win the next 3, they're 9-8.
That's what I'm saying. If all of a sudden they just rolled off like 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So going to the next game, big upset game, and another team, kind of on the rise. We have the Jaguars beating the Cowboys 40-34. Jaguars now 1 game back from the Tennessee Titans to take the division.
This is something you did not expect to see at all.
Nope, absolutely not. Trevor Lawrence playing like the prospect that he was coming out of college, and playing up to the standard. And this is only his second year, so this is a big implication for him and everything like that. Cowboys, kind of what I've said before, they got a great team. Just like the Vikings, though, there's one downfall to their team, and that will kill them. It's Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins.
So I'm not going to really blame Dak Prescott so much on that interception because that ball got knocked up just enough for that defender to grab it.
But that's one interception. I'm talking like overall play.
Okay,
though.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm continue.
That's the thing is that there are interceptions. There are interceptions that Geno Smith threw that is questionable. Okay, I don't think that agreed. But it's the overall play. The overall play of Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, and a few other guys. That's what's costing their teams these wins, these must-needed wins.
Right.
Theoretically, on paper, the Cowboys should have whooped the shit out of the Jaguars.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't, and that part of me is their defense was exposed. Trevor Lawrence picked apart their defense and everything like that. But at the same time, did Dak do enough to get the win?
Did Parsons even get a sack on Lawrence at all?
He might have got one.
Jeez, that's just telling you right there that Parsons wasn't even a factor.
Well, that's the thing is, how do you beat the Cowboys defense? You got to get Parsons out of the loop. If Parsons gets involved, it's over. If Parsons is not involved, you have a shot.
I mean, could you imagine if with Parsons still there and like DeMarcus Ware was still on that line? How? Well,
they have DeMarcus Lawrence.
I'm just saying, if DeMarcus Ware was still there, how deadly that.
I don't think. Honestly, I don't think Parsons would be relevant as much. Because Ware was a different story. Ware was a fucking.
But that's what
man.
I'm saying. You have two different guys that O line has to try to figure out. What
no, but my thing is though is the same thing with the JJ Watt and the Jadeveon Clowney. Is on paper that's dangerous. Realistically though, this is why I fucking hate Jadeveon. He's a waste of space on a D line because they still double teamed JJ Watt and he still had twice as many sacks as Jadeveon.
They're still getting double teamed, getting sacks, while the other guy's still getting single blocked.
But I think if it was DeMarcus Ware, prime DeMarcus Ware, and Micah Parsons now, that's a similarity that we would see. Parsons would be a little bit better than Jadeveon. He is better. He's a lot better than Jadeveon, but he's a little bit better enough to make some noise. But DeMarcus Ware would still cover a lot more.
Right.
So it would be dangerous, but to me, I see a Watt Clowney situation with Ware and Parsons.
Right. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So anyway, good job by the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the Jags have a chance of knocking the Titans out of first place in their division now.
I'm kind of rooting for that. Because I don't think the Titans are worth it. I don't think the Titans are.
That's what we've been saying all year, especially because it's just all about feed Derrick Henry. They have no wide receivers. Tannehill's one of those quarterbacks we're talking about that's on the downhill pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And just, honestly, why not? See somebody different.
Exactly. Going to the next game, we had another very close game with another overtime win. Very close.
If the Texans would have won this game, holy shit.
Though they're 1-12-1, the Texans are not bad. They're not bad at all.
They've had close games.
They've had a lot of close games. I think they're better than the next two teams we'll talk about next. In my opinion. The Texans aren't that bad. They're definitely a quarterback away. They're a few things away. Better defense and a better quarterback. But they're competing. They're doing well. But another great game by Patrick Mahomes. I think even through his struggles, I think Mahomes is running away with the MVP, in my opinion. I don't think I know a lot of people might give it to Jalen Hurts because of the record the Eagles have, but the Eagles as a whole is really, really good. But Hurts is doing too much. Mahomes is doing what he needs to, and he's balling out.
Yeah. Just like we've talked about with Mahomes, is that Mahomes, he's gone from the scramble kind of quarterback to becoming the more pocket kind of quarterback. He's actually being smart about being in the pocket, only running when it's absolutely needed to. So, unlike quarterbacks we've seen like Fields and Hurts, just running it when they see an open space every time.
Yep.
And then getting hit, Now
both of them are hurt.
When Patrick Mahomes understands, hey, if I probably run, I still have a chance of getting hit. Even if I slide nowadays, the guys still try to lay a hit on you, even though you're not supposed to. So,
well, Mahomes does it smartly. He always runs to the sideline, and he'll get the yards and everything like that, but he'll take that step out of bounds. Because of that fact, even when you slide, people are still coming at you full on. You can still get hit while you slide.
Yeah.
So Mahomes is really, honestly, showing me, and I'm maybe a lot of other people, but showing me that he is the now. He is the. What's it? Let's have a light bulb going out.
Should be the case. Okay. All right.
Well, based on that one, that's probably one's right above the sink.
I replaced both of those. Well, anyway. Well, let's finish this up.
I want to go turn that off real quick.
That one or the one in the living room?
Well, I just stopped.
Sorry, guys.
We're
We're
just
just...
the ones going to sync. Yeah, it's gotta be one of those because.
Huh, that's weird because I just put new LEDs in. I was like last year.
Yeah, we have them on a lot though.
But it could be some power surge going on because of the snow right now too.
Yeah.
So anyways, yes, I actually would agree with you with Mahomes being MVP this year. I really don't see anybody else coming close to that besides Hurts. I know they talk about Allen as well, but I feel Allen has dropped down, especially when he had those bad games.
Yep.
But I feel like Mahomes is actually definitely more deserving this year.
Yep.
Nobody else comes to my mind. Obviously, on the defensive end, you got Parsons again. You got Watt.
Watt, no. He's the amount of time he missed with the injury is going to hurt him. Parsons, yes. Max Crosby for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Going into next game. Oh, this was so beautiful.
You love this game.
I love this game for many reasons. One, we have the Broncos beating the Cardinals. I don't care if you want to call it upset. I don't care what you call it. What I call it is Russell Wilson. You a scrub, and we are the Dubs. You whiny ass little bitch. Broncos sitting Russell Wilson based on the concussion protocol. Though he was, I think he was technically cleared, showing no indications of concussion, anything like that. The Broncos made the smart decision, which I still, as a coach myself, I agree with this. Let him sit for at least a week, make sure he's good, because concussions is a very serious
Especially
injury.
what happened with Tua earlier this year.
Exactly. But how great did it work out for him? Brett Rippon leading them to beat the Cardinals 24-15, their biggest win of the year.
Yeah, literally.
Sad. But getting the win. I think a couple things with this game. One, it does nothing for Russell Wilson. He's still going to be a franchise quarterback and like that. I just find it funny. Two, the Broncos offense looked a lot better this game than they did all year long. Three, Cliff Kingsbury, you're probably going to be looking for a new job very soon. Because you just suck.
I mean, you have all those weapons there, and you guys should be way better than what your record even shows.
It really should. And a part of me blames Kyler Murray. Because, like what we've seen with Russell Wilson this year, the Cardinals have been really frustrated with Kyler's performance, his work ethic. You've seen it in DeAndre Hopkins' eyes. You've seen it on altercations between them. I think there's too many head cases there. Because I'm not a big fan of Robbie Anderson, too. I don't agree with how he left Carolina and throwing a fit like that. I'm not cool with that. DeAndre Hopkins is he's always been kind of a very selfish player.
Yeah, he goes up and down.
He goes up and down. The only person I like on the team is J.J. Watt. And that's because it's J.J. Watt.
Me, personally, I like Buda Baker.
That's because he's a UW boy.
I mean, there's that, but honestly, I see Buda getting out of Arizona.
I think he will.
And you know what's funny? Because you know who I think would probably be a perfect fit for him? Miami.
Okay.
I actually think he would actually be perfect for that Miami defense. He can go there.
Thank you, Jesus.
What? You think I was going to say Seattle?
Yes.
No.
I was going to slap you so hard. Be like, please don't be that.
I'm not that.
Please don't be like that.
I'm sorry, if we had Ray in here, yeah, he'd be like, yeah, all the Huskies need to come home in Seattle.
The big thing, though, is, yes, I agree. Miami actually would be a really good fit for him.
I don't know. I just see him playing there if he gets out of there.
Mm-hmm. I can see
when
that.
he gets out of there. So, anyway, yes, Broncos, get the W. Cardinals, you suck. Moving on
to very good game, but I question people's thought process.
I think this one is definitely the nomination for the dumbass of the week.
There is no nomination. I'm giving you this award. For anyone that wants to, so we're leading up to this, Raiders win 30-24. Obviously, more implications. Knocks the Patriots one game back out of playoff contention. who's the Raiders up close and everything like that. Now, this is where dumbass of the award goes to the Patriots because they are tied 24-24.
All you had to do was just literally take a knee and go into overtime.
Yeah.
You were out of field goal range and all
Stevenson got the ball, was running up the field, and clock was already dead. This was zeros all around. Decides to pitch it back to Jacoby Myers, who was getting tackled or about to get tackled, decides to throw it back to, we think, Mac Jones?
I mean, that's the only guy in the area.
Instead, it was picked off by Chandler Jones, who then stiffs arm Mac Jones, say, sit your ass down, little boy. I'm taking this home. Scores a game-winning touchdown. I'm sorry. What is your thought process on trying to do the backyard lateral plays for a touchdown when you're tied 24-24? You literally could just go to overtime, score a touchdown, or kick a field goal and hold the other team down, and you win the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Instead, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, Fish. No, you were talking first.
But instead, y'all a bunch of dumbasses. Because I don't care that you were trying to win a game. You don't win a game like that. You not when you're tied. If you were losing and did that, I'm okay with that because you're already down. What more do you got to lose? But you're tied. You're tied. Y'all are stupid. You're a Belichick team, and you did stupid shit like this.
And that's what I want to say. Belichick approved of this play, or did he not get notified before they called the play, and they just ran that play? Because if I was Bill Belichick, I'd be going to that offensive coordinator going like, what the hell was that? Did you actually call that?
I'm going to go to the offensive coordinator. I go to the players. They won the living fuck were you thinking?
I want to say it's Matt Patricia because I know he's back there as the offensive coordinator.
He's a defense coordinator.
Or he's a defense. Okay.
He's a defense coordinator, yeah.
I thought he was, before because him and Josh were...
Yeah, because Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator and Patricia was the defense. It might be Patricia, but I think he's defense.
I want to say so too, but I swear that I saw him showing him as offensive coordinator. But anyway...
Going back to it.
Holy shit.
Raiders, I'm very happy to see this. This is kind of what we thought. Again, another team that's kind of been on the rise lately, kind of fighting for a playoff spot is the Raiders, showing their worth and everything like that. Patriots, I hope you don't make the playoffs because of this reason. Y'all stupid.
Y'all stupid.
All right, we got the next game. We have the Chargers. A game that, again, was not very advertised very well, but we have the Chargers beating the Titans 17-14. Not a great game by Justin Herbert, but the Chargers doing what they can to hold the Titans down, which obviously helps the Jaguars, like we talked about earlier, potentially could knock off the Titans in a playoff spot.
Jags are one win from tying with the Titans in the division.
Exactly.
And 2 wins away from moving up if the Titans lose.
Which it very well could. Chargers, another team trying to fight for playoff berths and everything like that, which I think the loss to the Jets and the Patriots, it bumps them up to a playoff spot. I think the Chargers are rare. They've been having a very overrated season in the sense that they've lost a lot of games where they should have won. They've not performed very well, but they are doing their best to climb up. I think there's a lot of talent on this team. They just need to figure it out.
Yeah. Luckily, Mike Williams on the sideline made the big catch for him there to get him into the field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal. Like we've said many times, Chargers, they have all that weapons on defense. They have a great defense. They just need to finish games.
Yep. Absolutely. Going into another game where you need to finish games, another game where a team was winning at halftime and you blew your load and sucked, the Buccaneers and Tom Brady blowing a 17-point lead and losing to the Bengals, who are now, based on the records that I see, are now the AFC North leaders. The Bengals, 34-23. The team that is on the rise at the right time.
They are on that hot streak, just like the Lions are on a hot streak over the NFC. Bengals are the hot ones in the AFC.
I'm going to say a hot take right now about the Bengals. I will not be surprised if they take the number 1 seed by the end of the year.
I actually said at the beginning of the season, I did not think the Bengals were going to bounce back after that Super Bowl loss, but they are bounced back.
They have bounced back. The biggest thing is they have not had the three-headed monster healthy all year together, and Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. Once they get healthy, they are so dangerous. And with the Bengals beating the Chiefs at one point, I could see the Bills dropping. If that's an if that shows anything, Bengals do have the tiebreaker, and I think they would pass the Chiefs and be the number 1 seed. Be prepared if that happens. That might actually happen. I think that could actually happen. Especially the inconsistency the Bills have been playing. The Chiefs are going to probably win out. But the Bengals are hot at the right time, which makes them the most dangerous team going into the playoffs, as well as the Detroit Lions. Just those teams that are on fire. They're hot at the right time, but can they sustain it?
Yes. Can they consist?
Yeah, because the problem with the Lions are that the Bengals are going to benefit from is say the Bengals get hot, go into the playoffs at the number 1 seed, they get the bye week, they get a rest. The Lions have to continue. At some point, a continuous fire is going to burn out.
Yes, exactly.
Tom Brady having a really bad year. The Buccaneers having a really bad year. 6-8 Buccaneers. You have 5-9 Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. Literally, it's going to come down to anybody at this point.
Yeah, right, with that division right now.
Yeah. Do you got anything else on this game?
Not really, but Bengals looking good, and Buccaneers, I think your ship is sinking.
Honestly, hot take, there's your third candidate for MVP, Joe Burrow. I think he's doing enough to get up there.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll take that.
Yep.
As your third wheel up there.
So going into Sunday Night Football game, which was supposed to be a really good game. A lot of controversy on this one, actually.
Game that, had implications here on the
Well, both teams were fighting for the last 2 playoff spots. Still in the running because of the fucking tie. Fuck you and your ties.
I mean, this almost ended in a tie as well.
Yep. There was some controversy, though, about how this game ended and everything like that. But the Giants getting to the Commanders, beating them 20-12. I think it was another game where I think one team really dominated more than the other. Because the Commanders, until that fourth quarter, really did not play very well at all.
Right. Exactly. Heineke, having pretty much his first bad kind of game this game.
Yep.
Obviously, you had the running backs that stepped it up. Wide receivers bailed his ass out a lot of the times because there were some throws that he made that were not really good and they bailed him out. But it's his first bad game, in my opinion. Otherwise than that, the Commanders, I believe, should have won this game. But, with Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones there, being able to continue, they're fighting for that playoff spot, able to get the win.
Yeah, both teams don't drop out of the playoffs because of the tie, which is going to play in their favor because that gives them one extra loss. Because I think if the Commanders and Giants did not tie at this point, and say the game came out like it is, I think the Lions actually would have snuck in. If not, it would have been the Hawks because they're all 3 at 7-7.
Right.
So that's a big indication right there. Going into Monday Night Football game, which we just watched, not a very good game. 2 really bad teams, the Packers and the Rams. Packers still fighting for playoffs. They actually are a game back from the Seahawks and Lions at 6-8, which we kind of figured they were probably going to still make the playoffs early in the year, but they kind of had a really bad year. The Rams, though, officially being eliminated from the playoffs, the newest team to be eliminated. And honestly, they are such a bad team this year. It's not even funny. There were some really good streaks. Cam Akers had a really nice game for them. But honestly, this is the biggest disappointment from any team that's ever won a Super Bowl coming in the next year.
I think they set some kind of history record too after this game. I can't remember what I saw it advertised.
Yeah, it was pretty much the worst start for a team to win a Super Bowl. This is literally the worst Super Bowl hangover that anyone's ever seen.
It's just, I mean, you thought the Rams would definitely be back in the playoffs after last year, but after everything that's happened with Cobb, Darnold, Stafford, it's just
they got the worst of the injury bug.
They got definitely the worst.
The fact that you
You
lost.
weren't even on the Madden cover. You didn't even have the Madden curse or anything.
No.
Just
The fact that you lost your 3 key members, fourth if you count Von Miller being, losing him to the Bills, but the fact that you lost Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and Aaron Donald is so bad for this team because you literally lost your starting quarterback, your MVP last year, and your fucking franchise player in Aaron Donald. You lost all 3 of them this year. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that happens.
Yeah, because if you even look at that defense right now with Donald on the line, Wagner in the middle, and Ramsey in the backfield, I mean, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I think it also showed their overratedness of putting Wagner in there and Jalen Ramsey. Because here's the thing about Ramsey. He's still getting exposed by a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
He's not shut down. Wagner's performed very well in recent games, but overall, he's not had a Seattle Seahawks season. And that's the thing is, systematic-wise, guys like Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner succeeded in Seattle because the system was set up for them to succeed.
Yes.
And these other teams, they're not good. Both these guys left Seattle. Seattle was supposed to be really shitty. Both those teams are eliminated from the playoffs. Seattle still has a chance to make the playoffs.
Right.
So, all right, that's it for this week's games. Let us know what you guys think about that. As we go into, you want to do playoffs now?
I want to do the standings before
Okay.
we do our predictions, actually.
So we're going to go over the playoffs implications. We're going to talk about the standings that we see, starting with the AFC. As we see right there, we have the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals now taking over the spot for the Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens now climbing into the wild card spot with the Chargers and the Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Jags, Raiders on the outside looking in. My thoughts on this is I really hope Tennessee gets knocked out and Jacksonville climbs in.
That's the only way I'm seeing it. I think everything stays the same, but except for Jacksonville gets in.
The only other indication I can think of might happen is the Chargers get knocked out, and I think the Raiders will be the team to get in. Because I don't believe in the Jets or the Patriots after the performances lately. I think the Raiders and the Jags are my 2 teams I want to go in. I think, though, the other team that could probably get knocked out is the Ravens if they continue to don't have healthy quarterbacks.
This is true.
But I don't know because the Raiders have been very inconsistent. The one team I want to see get in is the Jags. And like I said, be careful of Cincinnati. They might climb up and take that number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, if all of a sudden both Buffalo and Chiefs lose a game and Cincinnati takes it,
yeah. So we're both pretty even on that. We both think that this is going to be very similar. The only thing that we would like to see is Jags taking over the Titans. Because, as you see,
none of these other teams I don't think are going to make it.
Honestly, I think next week we're going to see. I'm surprised the Colts have not been eliminated. They're 4-9. They should be eliminated. But I think this week Browns Steelers get eliminated.
Yep, I agree. Well, I think all 3 of these teams will see eliminated.
Yeah.
All right, NFC
where we have more playoff clinchers with the Vikings, the Niners, and the Cowboys all clinching the playoffs berth. We have Philadelphia, Minnesota, San Francisco, Tampa Bay as your division leaders right now with the pretty much we're just going to say the NFC East in the playoffs right now. This one has a little bit more outside looking in. We have the Falcons, Lions, Packers, and the NFC South still in line with the Cardinals and Rams now officially eliminated from the playoff contention. Where I see this changes is Commanders out, Lions in. I don't know, man. I say the Bucs still take it.
I think they're just barely going to get in.
I think they're going to take it because
I don't have faith in Carolina or New Orleans or Atlanta getting in.
Because the problem is that this is what you have to base it off of. Who do you trust? Brady, Darnold.
That's the other thing I'm looking at.
Dalton,
all 3 teams,
or Ritter.
I mean, you either go with a veteran quarterback in that team, or you go with the 3 other teams that all have different starting quarterbacks.
Yep. Especially if it was Mariota, I trust Mariota, but they don't have Mariota.
Yeah, he apparently walked out or something like that.
Yeah, apparently walked out on the team. The Packers could slide their way in. I don't know, but based on how everything's going, give me the Lions to get in over the Commanders. I think, unfortunately, The problem with Seattle is they still have the Chiefs this week. They have the Jets, which is that could go either way.
Yeah, the way that we're going right
And
now.
then they have the Rams, which they almost lost to a third string quarterback.
Exactly, because Rams could be 0-16, and the Seattle could be 16-0. And we play the Rams, we get our asses kicked.
Yep. So I think overall this stays the same. I still think, God damn it, I still think the Niners are the best team. Because again, what could happen is, say Hurts' injury is longer than a week. They could get knocked out of that first seed. They're only 2 games above the Vikings and 3 games above the Niners.
I think
and if it gets down to it, guess what? The Cowboys might take the division from them.
we are going to see, I think at least next week, a good picture of what is to come. I think next week is going to be literally the determination of what we're going to see for playoff implication.
Absolutely. If I had to pick now from each division of each conference of who I think will represent in the Super Bowl, AFC, my clear winner. Actually, it's a little bit harder because I have 2 teams in mind, and unfortunately, sorry, buddy, it's not Buffalo.
Okay.
It's the Chiefs, and it's the Bengals. And I don't want to say Bengals because I'm not a Joe Burrow fan, so I'm going to say Chiefs. But damn it, the Bengals are going to scare the shit out of people. They're wanting a Super Bowl. That's the thing about the Bengals. They want a Super Bowl. NFC, I'm down to 2 teams again. I'm thinking Philadelphia if they stay healthy. But I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say San Francisco, the most veteran team.
I'm sorry. I think it's San Francisco hands down. I don't even count. I don't think Philadelphia's going to make it through the playoffs.
The only reason is because they have such a good unit that they are battling very well. But again, I think San Francisco's defense is better than anybody's defense out here.
I think that's going to be the factor.
Give me a title for George Kittle. Get a title for George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel.
So I definitely say I think it'll be a great Super Bowl no matter what. But as long as it's San Francisco versus one of those 2 teams, as with Kansas City or Natty,
or even Buffalo. Actually, don't give me Buffalo, San Francisco, because I will literally hate myself. You're having me choose between the Bills and the Niners, a team that's never won a Super Bowl, versus the Niners, who I'm becoming a fan of. I'm becoming a big fan.
If the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, I'm giving me a Josh Allen jersey.
I'll buy you the damn Josh Allen jersey. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm a diehard Hawks fan through and through, but I'm also a real football fan. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Hawks, but I am also becoming a big, big, big fan of the Niners. I love the way they play. I love the team. God damn, the Niners are so fun.
FYI, guys, I was actually born to a San Francisco family, so I was through all that with the Montana, the Rice, the Steve Young, and all that stuff.
And but like you said, I love the Bills. I love watching the Buffalo Bills. They're freaking good. I love Josh Allen. He makes a lot of stupid mistakes. I just bit my tongue. But I love it. But I'm a big fan of Patty Mahomes, man. I will admit, I thought you were a bona fide bust when you came out of college. Prove me wrong. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It's like I said, I think it's great seeing these other teams, just being at the way they are. Kansas City has had success, back in the earlier years, then went through some struggles for quite a while. Now they're back up there. Same thing with Buffalo. Early years they were great. Unfortunately, never won a Super Bowl that they went to. Struggled for many years, and now became back on top. I just like that, especially when they're coming from the quarterbacks. That the way their personality are, the way that they're playing, they're pretty much role models.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're showing what we should see in quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing is though is that like you and I had talked about in previous shows, what we're seeing with the Allens, the Burrows, the Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts. I'm actually going to put Jalen Hurts in that category because I really like Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
But they're not. They're like the Brady's and Mannings that we've seen before, where they're classy guys. They're classy guys. They're about their.
We're seeing the renewed rivalries, because we saw so much of the Peyton Manning versus the Brady's, the Roethlisberger versus the Manny, the Brady's, and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's nice seeing this new blood pretty much come in and just these guys they're after it. They're fighting for these teams. They want to get back.
Exactly. And so I have a question for you. Speaking on the San Francisco 49ers, so I'll spay my point out to this, but say Brock Purdy leads the Niners to a Super Bowl. Not only just win, but to a Super Bowl. If you're Kyle Shanahan going into next year, do you keep Brock Purdy as your starting quarterback, or do you go back to your original starter, who you put your franchise in, that you've claimed he's your franchise guy, in Trey Lance?
I'm pretty sure that he would go back to Trey. I have a feeling that he will. I think it's going to be kind of like the whole Carson Wentz, Nick Foles kind of deal. I think that he'll go back, but they might also use him for bait or some kind of trade bait.
So what would you do if you're
Honestly, I never believed in Trey Lance personally, so I would actually, if I could not keep Garoppolo, I would roll with Purdy.
I'm 100% the same way.
If Purdy continues to excel, especially here in the regular season and playoffs, and wins the Super Bowl, Trey Lance, your buzz on the bench. Garoppolo, if you are actually coming back, I actually probably, like I said, would run with him unless he starts in. I'd only run with Garoppolo if he continues to be good. As soon as he starts going Purdy, you're the man.
I actually would stay with Purdy. In my personal opinion, the way Purdy has performed, he also gives you a little bit more of a run threat, which Trey Lance gives you run threat, but Purdy's also accurate. Purdy controls the game so much better than Trey Lance did. And I think if I was Kyle Shanahan, I would roll with Purdy. Regardless of how the season ends right now and everything like that, Purdy has shown a lot better momentum, control, everything. And he has done so well that the team itself now is not only was every team going to be like, okay, no matter what, we're always with our guys and everything like that, but they love Purdy. They trust him.
Well, this guy is Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I mean, he last guy in the pick. Nobody else thought of him as being anything. He wasn't a high-ranked quarterback at all. They took a chance on him. Look what's happened. Because usually when a quarterback comes in later in the draft, especially way late, I think they got more to prove. I think they work harder because they're the second string or they're the third string pretty much, or on the practice squad.
Yep.
So I think what we're seeing is here the guy who's actually really putting in the work, understands what's going on with this San Francisco team, realizes that their top quarterback from last year's draft is out. Here's his chance. Unfortunately, and bad as it sounds, fortunately, Garoppolo, the veteran, gets knocked out. Here's his chance. He's taking it, doing what he can to keep it. Yes, that's why I think that even though I just said, you should run with Garoppolo, I would not be surprised. Like you said, Purdy's got the hot hand. He is working his ass off for it. He'll be starting.
The other reason why I love Purdy over Lance tries to do too much. Purdy is the perfect game manager, is what the San Francisco 49ers need. They don't need a Hall of Fame quarterback to do everything.
Exactly, especially when you got guys like Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield.
Now, I'm against that. You got to stop having Deebo back there. You got to stop having Deebo back at running back.
You talk to the San Francisco, that's what they like to do.
No, me personally, I would stop taking him. I'd stop putting him in the backfield.
I would stop putting him in the backfield, put him like in the slot. I think he would excel in the slot.
Yeah, perfectly in the slot. That's where the Niners got to get away from putting Deebo back there, because you're giving to the more you expose Deebo, the more likely he's going to get hurt again. And you have McCaffrey. They do. It's all perfect. It's all perfect what they're doing and like that. There's a couple things they need to fix. But yeah, I think in my mind, Purdy over Lance, only because he controls the game better than Lance did. And I love Garoppolo, but he's also getting up there, and he's not mobile. Purdy gives you that perfect amount of mobile, but arm accuracy and everything like that.
Is this his third time being hurt since he's been over in San Francisco?
Yeah, third.
Out a whole season his first year, and then
he only had one good year. He only had one full season, and that was when he took him to the Super Bowl.
Anyway, guys, let us know what your thoughts are on that situation as well as other quarterback situations.
Yep.
All right, games for Week 16. I'm sorry. Did you want anything else to say before we moved, or good?
No, I got some other sports ones to talk about afterwards. So.
Afterwards, okay.
Yeah. So we're just gonna finish up football.
Roll our predictions and call it macaroni.
Yep.
All right, Thursday night game, our last Thursday night game of the year, which I believe.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. I swear when we looked last week at this week, there was no more, but apparently we were wrong.
Nope.
Apparently I'm wrong. So until the very last week.
So next week is the last Thursday night game. There it goes.
Wow, that is just weird seeing them strung out so far, but it could be because of other events and other stuff going on.
Correct.
So anyway, Jacksonville at New York. I'm gonna roll Jacksonville because I have more faith in them than the Jets going forward.
New York, you the scrubs, we are the dubs. Give me Jacksonville.
I don't think we need to say much about this. Buffalo, Chicago, Buffalo.
Why was that even a game? Why was that even that question?
Yeah, right.
Why was it even a question? Chicago?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago? Probably got better pizza than Buffalo, but hey, I don't give a shit.
Right.
The football team sucks.
New Orleans at Cleveland. I'm going to roll with the Saints.
Give me Cleveland.
Houston at
Hold on.
Tennessee.
Cleveland, give the damn ball to Chubb, please. I need him for fantasy. I got championships on the line here, okay? I got championships on the line here for fantasy football. Give the ball to Chubbs when he scores a touchdown, please. Fuckers.
You heard it here, Cleveland. Acknowledge his wishes.
Acknowledge my damn saying, please.
Houston at Tennessee.
Oh, this one's bad.
You know, I'm actually going with Houston with an upset.
Damn it, that's a really good pick, actually. I'm going to go Tennessee. I'm going to go safe bet and just pick Tennessee.
Seattle at Kansas City.
There's not even a game.
Seattle, we love you, but Casey.
That's not even a game. Mahomes, do me a favor. Or 5 touchdowns, please. 4 of them to Travis Kelce, please.
No. 2 of them to at least Juju, please.
Fine. So 6 touchdowns, 4 of them to Travis Kelce. The other 2 can go to Juju.
Yeah,
At least
please.
1. At least 1.
2. Make it 2.
All right, Kansas City. Yes, I have Kansas City beating Seattle.
The Giants at Minnesota. Oof.
Minnesota.
I still got rolled Minnesota.
Cincinnati at New England. New England, you're becoming a joke to me. Cincinnati.
Detroit.
We got ourselves a cat fight here. From fisticuffs coming along. Detroit versus Carolina. Give me Detroit Lions.
You got to run with that hot streak with
Listen,
Detroit.
I don't got a lion tattoo for a reason. No, it's not because of the Detroit Lions. It was never that indication. Lion is always my favorite animal, but give me the Detroit.
Yep, same here, Lions. Battle of the Birds, Atlanta at Baltimore.
Wow, what a shit game.
Pretty much, actually.
This is shitty.
Until, as we said, until Baltimore. Wow, what a time for us.
Yeah, you good?
Woo!
Yeah, by the way, you sneezed and it shook this computer screen.
Because my foot's on the thing. I see so hard that it.
Yeah, you shook the fucking world.
Yeah, my
I'm gonna go Baltimore because I don't trust Desmond Ritter. And I don't trust Atlanta. Give me Baltimore. I don't know.
I'm gonna roll with Baltimore too, because my boy Andrews is over there.
Yeah. We have San Francisco at Washington. San Francisco.
Other way around, brother. Washington.
I said San Francisco and Washington.
I thought you said. Oh, it sounded like you said at Washington.
No, I said and Washington.
Anyway.
Sure.
I thought it was what you said.
You'll be on the scrub list.
San Francisco, anyways, over Washington.
Yep.
Philadelphia at the Texans. Ooh. This could be one of them games that decides.
Well, the question is Jalen Hurts playing?
Because
I love the quarterback. I love the backup quarterback for Philadelphia. He's my boy. I love him to death, Gardner Minshew. But if Gardner's playing, I'm sorry, he's not beating Dallas. Regardless of who's at quarterback for Philadelphia, I am going to give it to Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas too. Just because we don't know what's happening with Hurts right now.
I think even Hurts healthy. I think Dallas is going to try to win it.
The Raiders at Pittsburgh.
Well, these are all Saturday night games.
These are Saturday 10 a.m. games.
I didn't realize that.
These are all 10 a.m. games on Saturday.
So wait a second. Y'all hate these people's families so much, take them off Christmas Day? The hell is wrong with you people?
I mean, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Go on Christmas Eve. This is Christmas Day. This is when kids get up to go open presents.
There's only one game, though, but...
On Christmas Eve? Or Christmas Day?
In the morning is what I mean.
Still. I mean, shit. These guys gotta travel. They gotta be with their
Maybe
kids.
they get vacation pay. I don't know.
Fuck it. They get paid millions of dollars. What do you need vacation pay for? You need holiday pay. You need a double bonus? Fuck off. Saturday night football game. We have the Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Raiders.
I'll go upside. I'll go Pittsburgh.
Fair enough. Going into Christmas Day, because apparently Roger Goodell hates these teams and wants them to suffer on Christmas. Which, by the way, any indication, there are 6 teams playing, and 5 of them have losing records.
Right.
So you suck. You're good. That's what Roger Goodell said.
Right. Green Bay at Miami. I'm going with Miami.
Miami.
Denver at Los Angeles.
Fuck off, Denver. It's
I'm actually going to go with the Rams.
Rams.
Tampa Bay at Arizona.
Tampa.
Yeah. Brady. I hope he can turn around because he's got his playoff hopes are on the line here.
Yep. To a very questionable Monday night game. Why is this game a Monday night football game? We have the Chargers at the Colts. Chargers.
Give me them Bolt.
That was a terrible game.
Yeah, right.
Terrible game.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you guys got for your predictions of these games. As always, please like, subscribe, comment. We would appreciate the feedback as always.
Yep.
And Ryan has some stuff he'd like to add here on to the end of the stream.
Yep. We're just going to do a few. I'm just going to start adding a little bit more sports talk into it. So it's not just football. We can do a little bit of acknowledging of some other sports. Going to the big one of the news, we had the World Cup final on Sunday morning. For us, it was Sunday evening for a lot of other people around the world. But Argentina coming out on top over France in penalty kicks. Lionel Messi, considerably one of the greatest soccer players of all time, getting his World Cup. Argentina beating France. Very good game. Very, very good game. There's a lot on the line. And obviously, World Cup being as big as it is, it's one of the biggest events in the world. It was a very good finale. Potentially, this is Lionel Messi's final World Cup, so it's good to see him go out as a World Cup champion. It's something that he has not had in his illustrious career. Going into some other stuff, we have, like Kelly had mentioned earlier, Damian Lillard becoming the all-time leading scorer in Trailblazers history. Very cool to see, especially for someone like Damian Lillard, who has had many opportunities to leave the Blazers to go to other teams. Very much could. He's a very talented, high prolific player. Actually was named in the top 75 greatest players of all time when they did it last year. But a guy who's loyal to someone like Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, stay with their original team. But great to see that. Also, quick shout out to the Seattle Kraken for a wonderful season they've had so far. They're currently 17-10 and 3 overtime losses. What's up?
Where are we at standings now?
For the Western Conference, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're ranking 6th.
Oh, we fell that far.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Currently a team that was at one point the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. They kind of fell off a little bit. But again, for us who are starting to become hockey fans, we kind of, for me growing up, I've always was a fan of the Mighty Ducks, but that's because of the old Mighty Ducks movies and the Ducks cartoon. I kind of lured to being a Mighty Ducks fan. And I'm not calling them the Anaheim Ducks. I call them the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They've always been that way to me. I've always been a fan. I never follow them. And then liking the Vancouver Canucks because, again, that was the most local team for me, which I realized this. I always was this way growing up that my favorite team was always my local team, so it's Seattle. Then by default, it would always be Arizona because my dad grew up in Arizona and I have family there. But I'm realizing that's not the case. Not really the case. My first love is always Seattle sports. My second love is some team in California. The Warriors, the Ducks, the fucking Niners. Baseball is a question mark. I don't love really any other team.
That West Coast loyalty here.
I'm not taking any baseball team because I don't give a shit about any baseball team outside the Mariners. Baseball's too long of a season for me. But Warriors are my first love for basketball, followed by the Blazers. Now with them, we don't have the Sonics. I do love the Niners outside of the Seahawks, and then outside of the Kraken, I have the Canucks, which I do kind of follow a little bit, and also the Mighty Ducks. I don't like any of the colleges though. Fuck UCLA and fuck USC.
Oh, UCLA gone anyways.
Yeah. Other sports talk. Seattle Mariners have been making a lot of moves in this offseason, as many would see. Big question mark on what they're doing. They gave up some prospects in the future. Kyle Lewis. They gave up Jesse Winker. Swanson, which is a big loss. I think you actually talked about a lot. Them losing out on one of our better bullpen pitchers for another bat. One loss that hurts me a lot because he was one of my favorite players. Mitch Haniger signing to the San Francisco Giants. Mitch Haniger, I wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you for your time in Seattle. Thank you for helping us lead to the playoffs the first time in 20 years. Kyle Lewis, I wish you the very best. I wish you not a injured riddle career that you unfortunately have had in Seattle. We'll see what happens with the Mariners going in the season and everything like that. NBA talk. Currently, right now, with the Warriors, as I speak about them, they they unfortunately lost Steph Curry for about 3 to 4 weeks. So that's
with that shoulder injury.
Yep, yeah, sustained shoulder injury and everything like that. College football news. I want to send my condolences to the Mike Leach family and to all the players from Mississippi State. It's not easy losing a family member, especially your head coach, before a bowl game. And for those who were touched by him through the Washington State community, I was a big fan of his, especially his run with the Cougars back then. And Gardner Minshew, baby. So damn close for a national championship. But my condolences for you guys. Another big news is Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State. To Colorado. I have some thoughts on that, and I'd like to hear yours.
All right.
What do you think about him going in and causing kind of a ruckus?
I think that's exactly what we're going to see. Because it's Deion Sanders. That's what he does. I think we're going to see him, really turn that program around. I think we're going to see them not do a complete 360, but I think we're going to definitely see an improvement for next.
My only problem is going in there and without getting my thing is him already telling the team, "Oh, my son is the quarterback already." I have a big issue on shit like that.
Oh yeah,
I have a real big issue on that because it goes to show that coaches' sons are the most spoiled shits in the world, that they get everything handed to them. I don't agree. I think he should earn his spot like every other quarterback.
Wait, for real? His son's actually going to Colorado?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Both his boys have entered the transfer portal and will be going to Colorado. Deion Sanders went on record in front of the media and the player and the Colorado players he had a meeting with, and already had said, "Oh, my son is your starting quarterback." He hadn't even entered the transfer portal, and he already claimed that his son's the starting quarterback. That's my issue. My issue is, as a new coach, you go in, you set your expectations for everyone, and you tell them that this is not going to be the Colorado that you've played before. But I don't give anyone a damn job until they earn it. That's where you lose respect for me, is when you go out and say shit like that.
Yeah, that's
And
like,
again, like you said, that's Deion Sanders.
that's Deion Sanders. That's even like the Ball family.
Fuck the Ball family.
In basketball, my son's gonna be the starting forward
Yeah.
for just like
And as a parent, yes, you want to do what's best for your kid and you want to hype them up, but you're also now a coach.
yeah, I wouldn't even want to do that if my father was a professional, either professional college coach, I would not want to go to where he is.
No,
you don't want to do that because there's going to become favoritism.
It is, and that's the thing, especially like a program like Colorado, where yeah, you've really been terrible, but again, my thing is that if his son wants to go there, that's fine, but earn your way. You got to earn the trust of your teammates. Right now, you have a big red flag on you because you're going to get everything you wanted to because Colorado head coach is your dad.
Exactly.
I think he's going to do great things to Colorado. I think he'll turn it around. But I don't agree with the way you approach it.
Yeah, there's going to be some controversy.
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be some controversy when a new coach comes in.
Yep.
But I think, we're definitely... I honestly can't wait till next season to start hearing the news coming out of Colorado, what Deion's doing.
Yep. Speaking of the Pac-12 going to the next season, we had a couple of big-time quarterbacks, Bo Nix of Oregon and Michael Penix Jr. of Washington, claiming and saying that they are going to return for another year at both prospective schools. With UW getting a lot of transfers in right now in the transfer portal.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are.
I think this is an indication of exactly what I've told you. If Michael Penix stays, there's a very good chance UW plays for a Pac-12 championship next year, which I think they should have played for a Pac-12 championship this year.
Yeah, the way that they had, I'm glad they dealt away with the whole North and South thing. But yeah, the way, if you look at the records overall, it shouldn't have been who played. It shouldn't have been.
Well, no, it actually should have been. Because here was the problem with the record thing. So they based it off of schedule and who played who, right?
Right.
But UW you look at the conference schedule, but you got to look at the overall schedule. So obviously USC was going to be in it. They already clinched it. So the final spot was Oregon, Utah, and Washington, all at like something and 2, right?
Yeah, I think it was all 10-2.
No. Their records were 6-2. Washington was 10-2 overall. Utah and Oregon were 9-3. But Utah played for that Pac-12 championship based on who played who the schedule. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It should have been UW because UW was 10-2.
Exactly.
So I kind of wish you go back to the North-South thing because that was more fair in a sense. Because again, it's the North and the South. Right? It's the North and the South. Whoever's the best of the best, right? But yeah, I see why you go with, the overall and everything like that. Just, you got to clean it up. I think that their whole set plan was Utah versus USC from the beginning because they are the two best teams. I don't think they really gave Washington any credit. So I think that's where my problem rolls in is that sometimes these conferences, these teams have everything set in mind of what they want it to be, that they find any reason to make it happen. Speaking of college football, we'll do a quick prediction right here, just between official on our channel. The college football playoffs, we have 4 great teams in there, and none of them are Alabama. We have Michigan at TCU. We have said it numerous times to each other, but we'll make it official on the channel. See what you guys think. Michigan versus TCU.
Wolverines, baby. I'm
going to go Michigan as well. I would like to see TCU go all the way, but I honestly think this is Michigan's year. Go Harbaugh. Then we have Georgia, Ohio State. Got to go with Georgia.
I got to go with Georgia, too.
All right, so any indication if this is accurate, it is the game that we've chosen. It is Michigan versus Georgia. Who would you take in a game like that?
Michigan. I've rolling with Michigan ever since the season started. I'm going to continue.
I will be different on this because I've watched more games of this. I will go Georgia because there's something about the Georgia Bulldogs this year is even different from last year. They mean, they hungry, and they out to go hurt somebody. So that's all I got for sports talk. Again, one of the biggest notes was great job to and congratulations to Argentina winning the World Cup. The next World Cup will be in 2026, which will be in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And there will be some World Cup games playing local to us, some in Vancouver, BC, and some in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, nice.
So great to see the World Cup come here. And the United States bounce back. Actually, we have the World Cup, Women's World Cup next year. So in the United States, it's going to go in heavily as the favorites again, like that. So we'll see what happens from there. But that's all I got. Thank you, everyone, for joining in our show. Thank you to everyone. I want to make a quick shout out on this. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot and everything like that. Thank you to all those who are viewing our other stuff. We just saw that our Super Mario Brothers trailer review actually cracked 100 views, which to me is actually really exciting to see that update every time. And we've had some other views on our other trailer stuff. We will be doing more stuff as we go along. We just been very tired of.
Yeah, exactly. Especially today. I've been dealing with the headache all day, guys. That's why Ryan's been doing most of the talk. So I appreciate Ryan taking the head of the show this week. So there's nothing for you to be sorry about, especially when I asked him, hey, could you do the intro? And he'll probably get me talking a lot. So I've been starting to feel a bit better since I had dinner and stuff. I've been starting to feel a bit better, but still, it's still there.
Yeah. If anyone is dealing with any snow, as we are right now, please, you guys be safe. You guys please be safe, especially when driving and everything like that. If you don't need to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. You know, be safe and everything like that.
And also try not to order like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and stuff like that if you can avoid it. Don't try to put their lives in danger, especially if you know that your driveway or the road to your house is dangerous.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys for always tuning in, everything like that, seeing likes on our videos, everything like that. Please like, share, and share with your friends, everything like that. Please subscribe. We're still waiting for our first comment. We love for anyone to be our first comments, and if you guys ever wanted to be a part of the show, let us know. We'll figure out something to do there. We have some people potentially interested, so we may see some new faces in our channel. Again, we are planning to do our first movie review soon. Probably won't be till after the new year. And we'll do some more shorts. That was kind of cool when Kelly did that for the first time and had over 100 views. So expect to see that again too. Also, we'll talk about some issues that we've had with some movie companies. DC, you're on my shit list.
We've also talked about doing a WWE year in review as well.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. Maybe next week, maybe the week after.
Whatever we can figure
out. Maybe after we see Selena. Which that'll be something to talk about too. Is both of us have now been able to go to a live event. With Kelly going to his first live event this year, which I would love to hear. Which would be nice for him to share that.
Oh, definitely.
With you guys here.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
I've been to 3 myself. I went to a live show with my best friends Kit and Melissa years ago in Everett, and then I went to a couple years ago in 2019. I actually had Kelly can remember this. I took a whole weekend off and I was gone, and I went to the last pay-per-view in Tacoma, Washington, Stomping Grounds. I actually had the chair for it. That's a funny story. I'll tell you about that, how I got the chair. And I went to Raw the next night. It was by myself, but it was a much-needed time to go watch these shows and everything. It was actually pretty good. Unfortunate news, we were supposed to go to the Kraken game on Tuesday, but
tomorrow, yeah.
But pending weather, it was not going to look that way. We are going to go to our first Kraken game some point next year when the weather gets better. I will be at the hopefully the weather's good. I'll be at the Hawks game. And
you actually have a pretty good chance.
I have a pretty good chance. I still might go to the Kraken game on the 1st as well. I'm not entirely sure. But I will be at the Hawks game against the Jets on January 1st. You'll see a short come from me. And if you are a fan of our channel, if you actually seen it and you see me, come say what's up. I think we also talked about potentially if we can get tickets for Emerald City Comic Con, doing some shorts and some footage from there. So 2023, expect a lot of things for Big Fat Dubs.
Definitely.
I think it was awesome, just honestly awesome that we started this channel, and we have a lot of thoughts going into this, and we're very excited. And again, you know what? I'm going to put it out there for Big Fat Dubs Army. If you can come up with an awesome logo for us, send it, and we'll use it, and we'll give you credit for it.
Probably better than the thing I came up with.
Preferably one with fat cats.
I know he's got this thing where he wants a big fat cat.
Hey man, I'll admit it. I'm a cat man. I'm a cat man.
I'm not quite good. I'm still at the learning stages here.
I'm a cat man. I love cats. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I love dogs, especially big dogs.
He wants a big old fat cat with like some sunglasses. And
hey man, don't hit on fat cats. Need a shit. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you guys. We'll do some more shows coming up and everything like that. As always, we say this like a broken record, but this is the kind of thing for YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Be prepared for more shows coming our way. And got anything, Cal?
Nope, I think we pretty much said it. Look forward to our next videos that we upload. Hopefully, we get some up this week.
Yep. And for Russell Wilson, as we say, scrub and weep.